I moved to Austin in 1994, 10 days before my 21st birthday. I didn't really know anyone here and I had no clue what I was doing, but I was ready for something new. And in the 30 plus years that I have lived here, I could have never imagined how much Austin was going to change. I never knew how much bigger it was going to get because when I moved here, I thought it was big and didn't really imagine anything bigger. But boy, did I not know. Spoiler alert, I had no idea what was coming. So if you're thinking about moving to Austin or you just made the move, I want to give something most relocation agents don't give you, which is that simple, honest, lived-in version. My name is Shannon Green. I'm a realtor here in Austin, Texas with eXp Realty, and I've lived in Austin since 1994, and I've lived in Southwest Austin since 2006. And I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit of my story. I grew up in a small town in Southeast Texas, and when I moved here, almost turning 21, Austin felt enormous to me. It also felt full of possibility and, to be honest, a little bit scary. Today, it's a completely different city, and I want to talk about that. The good, the bad, the real, and stuff no normal relocation agent would share. At least not in a brochure. Thinking about relocating to Austin or the surrounding areas? Well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research, and I've linked it down below. From top employers to the best hospitals and a boatload of other things you might need to know before making the move. And the best part is it's 100% free. Just click the link in the description or the top pinned comment. I hope that helps. Here's what we're gonna cover: how Austin has changed, what somehow has still stayed the same, and what I would actually tell someone who's thinking about making the move today. So let's get into it. When I left Southeast Texas in 1994, I needed a fresh start. My hometown felt small, and not in a bad way, just in a there's something more out there for me kind of way. My parents had moved to Wimberley, which is about an hour south of Austin. They were there to teach in their final days of teaching and then run a bed and breakfast over the weekends. So moving to Austin kind of felt like I had something new, but I would have family close enough if I happened to need them. It was almost like a little bit of a security blanket when I really didn't need the security blanket, but it was just a thing. College was on my list, but it was up to me to make that fully happen, financially and otherwise. I was living on my own, working, saving up. So I actually started college a little bit later than most. But once I started, I finished in 4 years, and I'm actually very, very proud of that. Now here's something I don't think I've shared on camera before, but I didn't choose Southwest Texas University as my college of choice because it was my favorite college academically or it was the perfect fit. I actually chose it because I was touring University of Texas and Southwest Texas, but I went to UT first and I couldn't find parking. And being from a small town and now in a huge city, what I considered a huge city, I was petrified. I couldn't find parking. There were one-way streets. I was getting lost and I just started crying. And so I just stopped that day, stopped everything and went home and told myself tomorrow I'm gonna head to the other school, and they had parking. And there was this nice little old lady that talked to me, and I gave her my transcripts and I was like, I wanna go to school here. What I didn't know, because I didn't have the guidance that I probably needed, is that I could have gone to any school I wanted. I had very good grades, and I was just this little girl showing up with papers saying, help me. And the lady there helped me, and that's how I ended up at Southwest Texas. True story. Now, while I went to school in Southwest Texas, I was living in Austin and driving back and forth because the work was in Austin. That's where you could make the most money to pay for school. So I got to know the whole area really well. And after living and going to school, there were these moments where it's like, I knew Austin was changing. And there's one specific night when I look back on this, and when was that moment when I thought, wow, something is different. And I'm not sure if I like it. My husband did the steak nights at Little Woodrow's. It started out on 6th Street and then grew with all the Little Woodrow's locations. So one night a week, all the Little Woodrow's would do steak nights. That was my husband, and he was famous back in the day for his steaks. It was at the end of one of those evenings when we were sitting on 6th Street at Little Woodrow's, and we looked up in front of us, and there was this building and skyscraper like looking building, but it wasn't even that tall. But it was being built, and we thought, wow, they're just going to completely block this view. And why would they do this? And I hope that there's not more of this to come. And looking at it today and looking back on that, we had no idea what was coming. And around that same time, I went down with a group of friends because Frost Bank building had just been built, and it was huge in Austin. And they were going to be lighting it up one night. So a bunch of us went to Cedar Door, which is a bar downtown that had a great view of the building. And we were just going to have some margaritas and enjoy watching the building get lit up and cheer it on because it was a thing. That one I was okay with because it wasn't blocking my view at Little Woodrow's. So that was a fun night. But looking today at the Frost Bank building and where it sits in downtown Austin, it's like a little midget compared to the other buildings that exist now. That building standing next to the Waterline Tower, which is now the tallest building in Texas, over 1,000 feet. That Frost Bank Tower just looks like it's crouching. That's when it hits you that you realize how much the city has changed in 30 years. Now let's talk about what that change actually feels like. Not the statistics, but the lived experience. I used to drive all over the city without a second thought. North Austin for dinner, no problem. Downtown on Friday, of course. I just went wherever I wanted to. I'd be out at Carlos and Charlie's at lunchtime and then downtown in the evening to go out. And if you don't know Carlos and Charlie's, it used to be on Lake Travis, so a little bit further out. Now I'm a Southwest Austin girl. My world is Southwest Austin's, maybe a little bit of Dripping Springs, downtown, and some of West Austin. Why? Because it's my little bubble of where I hang out. I have completely recalibrated where I go based on traffic. And most of the time I can work around it, but I'm not going to pretend that it isn't real because it absolutely is. Another thing that's changed is eating out. Eating out is expensive now. It really is. We went from having a handful of great restaurants back in the day to an almost overwhelming number of restaurants now. A lot of them have Michelin star ratings. There are so many to choose from, it's daunting. I honestly can't keep up, but they're all great restaurants. You almost need a spreadsheet now to keep up with them. Now, I will say there are pros and cons to both of these. Another thing that's dramatically changed in Austin is the home values, and we all know that. The Austin market is one of the most dynamic in the country, and while things have slightly normalized since the peak of 2021 and 22, prices are meaningfully higher than they were 5 years ago. If you're moving here, you need to go in with clear eyes of what your budget gets you and where. And that's actually what I love to do. Helping people find not just a house, but the right neighborhood for their life. That's the whole thing. And when I think about some of the things that have stayed the same, I come back to one thing, and it holds true today. The people in Austin are genuinely nice. Most of them. I really notice this when we have out of town guests coming in, because when we're taking them out and entertaining them, what we end up doing, we end up talking to people at bars or at live music areas or in parks, and everyone just is very welcoming and interested in getting to know other people. So I find that in Austin, it's a culture thing. People accept each other, even though we might all have vast differences. But there is a level of acceptance and wanting to get to know you that I haven't seen in other cities. And Austin has always been a very active, healthy type city. There's so much fun to be had in Austin, whether it's an outdoor concert or working out, but there's sports galore outside, hiking, biking, paddleboarding, wakeboarding, you name it, outdoor volleyball. That's a big one in Zilker Park. You will always find somebody doing something outside, no matter where you are in the city. And when it comes to people and finding that neighborhood that fits you, my neighborhood specifically is one that I love to talk about because my neighborhood was built in 79 and 80, probably a little bit of 78. But a lot of those original people still live here if they are still with us. Some have passed. So when they do pass or are moving out to be with their family because they are getting older, or going to assisted living, we have younger families replacing them in our neighborhood. And I'm not kidding when I say we have the most balanced mix of people right now, from older to younger, all hanging out together, all of them attend the events in our neighborhood, and finding that sense of community and people that truly care is so important. So when people say Austin's sold out, I will defend it all day long when it comes to the people. You just have to find your pocket and get involved in your community. Now, people ask me all the time, why do you live in Southwest Austin? And probably a lot of that question comes from so much growth happening out towards Dripping or way up north in Leander and Liberty Hill and all those areas. And the answer is simple. It has everything. I am close to downtown, but not in downtown. I have 21 oak trees in my yard, which is unheard of for most areas. We are not a cookie cutter subdivision. We are in a price point that used to be a secret, and although the values have gone up because location, we still have a great value compared to other parts of Austin that are close to downtown. And our location and geography, when you look at the city as a whole, is incredible. I can drive 7 miles down the road, and to the right, I can go on Town Lake and go paddleboarding and kayaking, and to the left, I can go water skiing on Lake Austin. So our location in Southwest Austin is incredible geographically compared to the city, because I can go 7 miles down the road, and to the right, I have Town Lake, and I can go paddleboarding and kayaking, and to the left, I have Lake Austin, and I can go wakeboarding, water skiing, you name it. It's all right by where we live, and downtown is right there too. It feels less commercial and laid back in Southwest Austin. There's no keeping up with the Joneses vibe going on here. And for me, after living here for 20 years, that has never gotten old. Now for the question of the day. For those of you that are thinking about making the move to the Austin area, where are you coming from? And what's the main reason that you're leaving your current area? I'm truly curious, so make sure that you let me know in the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say. Also, if you have any questions or thoughts, you can leave those in the comments below as well. Or even better, you can call, text, or email me. My information should pop up on the screen. Now here's what I want to tell you before we get into the last part. And this is the honest take that no one's going to give you in a relocation video. The late 1990s in Austin, they were incredible. Life felt easier. The city felt knowable. And yes, if I could bottle up that version of Austin, I would. But here's what I've learned. You either adapt or you get left behind. That goes for career, for city lifestyle, for anything. If you don't adapt, you will get left behind. And I think Austin has adapted beautifully. So let's talk about what that means for you and whether this city is still the right move. Do I love the newer version of Austin? That's a loaded question. I love the stores. I love the boutiques. I love the more live music venues. I love that we have more things to do. The restaurants, amazing. The people that we are able to meet, the amount of exposure to opportunity is really good. It's genuinely extraordinary. I feel lucky every day that I get to live here and then help people find their place here. But what I do love is that if you don't like that fast-paced busyness, there are still places of quiet that you can retreat to. You can still slow down if you want. Drive 20 minutes southwest and you're in the hill country. There are still small pockets and versions of the Austin that I used to love that are still here today. You just have to know where to find it. Here's something I think about a lot when I'm talking to people that are thinking about relocating now versus when I relocated back in 1994. Social media is a double-edged sword, but when it comes to moving to a new city, it can completely change your experience of how you get connected. Back then, you showed up, but you figured it out slowly. You met people through work, through luck, and through showing up at the same places enough times that you started running into each other. Now, you can find people before you even finish unpacking. There's Facebook groups for every neighborhood. Instagram will connect you to local food and entertainment. YouTube, and honestly, that's why I make these videos. People come here to learn about a place before they actually commit to it. And TikTok, honestly, I use it for the laughs, but a lot of people still use it to help them find information about different communities. The thing I love about social media is if used right, you can get connected really quick into communities. Dog lovers, hikers, people that love to cook, volunteer groups, walking groups, paddleboard meetups, whatever your thing is, there is a group of people inside Austin doing it, and they're inviting others to join them. Moving to a city now is so much less lonely, in my opinion, than it would have been back in the day. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there and online to go find it. When I moved here, I had to build all of that from scratch the hard way. You don't have to. My honest advice for someone that's considering the move: 1, get clear on what part of Austin fits your life. North, south, east, west, all feel like different personalities. So you don't just move to Austin, you move to your Austin. 2, give yourself time to find your people. One of the things that hasn't changed about the city is that it rewards the people that show up. That old saying of look around the table at the friends that you're sitting with and you will see where your future is heading, that holds true back in 1994, just the same as it does today. And finally, number 3, come in with realistic expectations of cost, traffic, and housing. It's not the secret anymore, but the value, the quality of life, the opportunity, the access to nature and culture and career growth, it's all still here. Ask me in 5 more years and my answer might be different. That's the honest truth. But right now, what surprises me the most is this: a city can grow this much, change this fast, and still somehow hold on to something essential: the friendliness, the sense that there is room for you here. I have never once regretted leaving Orange, Texas at almost 21 years old with no plan and a lot of hope. Not once. Hey guys, I'm Shannon Green, and as much as I love making these videos, there's one thing I love more, and that's helping families and people from all over make the move here to Austin. I've helped countless people make the move, so whether you're coming out next week, next month, or next year, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is right here on the screen, and it's linked in the description in case you missed that on-screen pop-up. And I look forward to helping you and your family make the move to Austin. If you are seriously thinking about making a move to Austin, I want to help you do it the right way. I have a free relocation guide. Check that out. But most importantly, reach out to me via text, email, or phone. I do answer and respond to everyone. I'm Shannon Green, a realtor here in Austin, and I've been around long enough to know that the right move starts with the right information. If this video was helpful, share it with someone that might be thinking about moving to Austin. Subscribe if you want more of this, and I will see you on the next one.